Hello students, this is Professor McDonald. This will be a course introduction for CRJ 3150-800 Criminal Investigation. This will be for Summer 1 semester. What I want to do is just briefly introduce you to the course, tell you some of the key things that you need to review, especially in the first couple of days of the course, and just give you a very short overview. This class begins on Tuesday, May the 22nd, and it ends on Tuesday, June 26th. So essentially we're talking about a 5-week course. You will be busy during these weeks, but not overly busy if you stay up. The key to success, for those of you if you haven't taken an online class, is you have to keep up. If you fall behind, that is normally a recipe for disaster. This course will be conducted completely on Canvas using the Canvas course learning management system. This is new for many of us at UNCP. When you look at the syllabus, I've provided a link so you can orient yourself. I've tried to set this course up in Canvas to make it as simple as possible for you as the students to be able to travel throughout the course, obtain the links, etc. that you need to have, know where the tests are, know where the writing assignments can be located, and I'm going to cover that briefly in this short course introduction. The textbook, which I hope you've already obtained by now, since that information was available with the library, not the library, with the bookstore for many months. It's Criminal Investigation, Basic Perspectives, 13th edition. The authors are Charles Lushball and Paul Weston. Email me if you have any questions about the textbook. You should be able to find it. I've used this textbook previously in the last couple of years, so there should be plenty of used copies available. I was very careful in selecting this textbook. It covers everything that I feel that you need in a criminal investigation course, and there's a lot of textbooks out there, but I really like this one, and the reason I like it is not only the individuals that are the authors of this textbook, not only are they academics in putting this together, but they are also former practitioners that have worked in the field, so they bring that experience into their writing, which is important to me. Again, I'm Professor McDonald. If you haven't had me in a class before, this is my 8th year. I'm finishing up my 8th year at UNCP. I'll be starting my 9th year in the fall semester. I'm a retired federal agent, and prior to that I also served in the U.S. Marine Corps. And when I retired from active criminal investigations, I was a criminal investigator for almost 30 years, 27 years. I also worked with the State Department overseas, training police officers and government officials in counterterrorism and terrorism-related subjects for about 8 years before I came to UNCP. What you're looking at here is just the home page that you'll see when you pull up our course in Canvas. I've set this up. I guess the key divider in Canvas is modules, and the way I've set our modules up is by week. And so for each week you'll be able to go, I'm going to click on week 1, click that little arrow there, and it'll open up and provide you all the information you need for week 1. The first thing you'll see up there is the syllabus. This is your roadmap in the course. Make sure that you download this and read this very carefully. This has all the information that you need to know, what the expectations are, what the grading scale is. I also have a weekly schedule as to what occurs each week. So you need to review this very carefully. If you have any questions about anything in the syllabus, then email me. I'm not going to read this to you. You can read this on your own and email me with any questions. In this class, we'll have 6 exams. They are open for 48 hours or 2 days. I'll open them up. Let's say if it was a Monday, it would open up Sunday night at 1 minute after midnight, and it'll close on Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m. that 48 hours that it's open should accommodate everybody's schedule. Now, what I also have done is, the day after a test closes, you'll be able to review the test and what you got wrong and what the right answers were. I'll also provide some feedback to you individually as I see it necessary, but this opportunity will be for you to look at the questions that you missed and what the correct answer is. I will open this up the day after a test closes from 12 noon until 8 p.m. So it's going to be open for an 8-hour period. Everybody should be able to access it during that time period. This will be for every test. There's no discussion boards in this class. There's 2 practical exercises, or what I call writing assignments. The first one is a professional interview, and you'll actually download the expectations of that. What I want you to do, and you can read this when you read the assignment, I want you to interview a criminal investigator. It can be at the federal, the state, or the local, or even the tribal level. And these are individuals that are engaged in conducting criminal investigations. It's a great experience for you, and they'll be able to give you some insight into how criminal investigation works. I've provided, like I said, a guidance document that you'll access, and I'll show that to you here in a little bit. But this guidance document will tell you, I give you the minimum number of questions to ask. I hope that you'll expand on these questions, and then your experiences, with this interview, you will write a report. This is one of the major grades in the class. The assignment's open for about 4 weeks. Let me just double check that real quick. It actually opens up the first day of class, and it's due on June 17th. So you have a month to do this. Don't wait to the last minute. Schedule this in advance and get your interview done and write it up. Now, real quickly, these cannot be done on the phone, and these cannot be done interviewing a relative. And I also would prefer you interview somebody that's actively working now, not somebody that retired 30 years ago. You can't interview any professors or anybody like that. So if you have a question as to who you can interview, just let me know. If you're in the military or you live on a military base, I don't have any problem with you interviewing if it's an Army base, somebody in Criminal Investigation Division, CID, or if you're on a Marine or a Naval base, it would be NCIS, Naval Criminal Investigative Service, or if it's Air Force, it would be Air Force OSI, which is Office of Special Investigations. I also have a critical thinking exercise, pretty simple, shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do. That'll be open for 5 days during the semester. Your exams count for 80% of the grade. Your practical exercise number 1, which is the criminal investigator interview, is 15%, and your practical exercise number 2, the critical thinking exercise, is 5% of your grade. Now let's just look here real quick. This is week 1. Like I said, if you click on in Canvas, you click on week 1, the syllabus is located, the first exam is located there. I have some online test-taking tips. I want you to read these. When you do a test, I will announce this. My tests are timed. You only take them 1 time. I'll give you plenty of time to do the test, but I'm not going to give you 2 hours to answer a 25 question. This is not a look up the answer in the book class. You need to prepare in advance, take notes, read the textbook closely. A lot of people like to use index cards to keep their key notes on. Whatever works for you, print out the slides if that's good for you. But you have to prepare in advance. You will not have time to take my test in this class and just wait and just try to look up all the answers in the book. You will run out of time. I can promise you that. So for example, if there's 25 questions, I normally give you 30 minutes to do the test. That is ample time if you are prepared. You see 1 question at a time, and you can't backtrack. You answer that question, your answer is locked in, you move on to the next question. The reason I do this is to prevent collaboration, and unfortunately people do. There are techniques where people try to cheat on their online classes. So these are security measures that I take to try to prevent that. And there's your link to the professional interview. Let's just click on that real quick. And that'll take you right there. This is what you don't see here is you would actually click on this where it says practical exercise number 1. That is the instructions on how to do it. Now on your screen you'll also have a file upload. So you'll write your paper in Word or a PDF or an RTF document. Do not answer your questions in any blocks. I want a document that's uploaded. Okay? There'll be a link for you to upload your documents here, your answer, your interview, whatever it might be, and then I will grade it. Let's go back to the home page. And then for each chapter, I have a PowerPoint slide presentation that's required viewing. And what I have done in this class is I've actually taken the PowerPoint slides and I review them with you in an audio file. In an audio file with my comments. I highly recommend you take advantage of this resource. These are located on YouTube, so you can, let's click on one. You can play it here, or you can just go right to the link to an external site. Click right there, and it takes you to YouTube. It's 15 minutes.
Hello students, this is Professor.
Where I talk about chapter 1. I highly, and I do this for every chapter. So I'm going to close this down. Here we are back at that link. Let's go back to the home page. That takes us back to our week 1 module. So I have all the, like for week 1 you have 3 chapters to read. The chapters aren't that long. And then I have video links. You'll click on, like here's one, processing a crime scene. These are required viewing, and you can watch it right here on the screen, or you can download it, whatever's easiest for you. Okay? Take notes when you're watching these videos because there'll be questions on the test from the videos. I wouldn't assign them if I wasn't going to test you on them, but these all tie in closely with the with the readings that you're doing in the textbook. And I carefully selected these when I put this course together. We'll go back to the home page. So that just gives you kind of a review of what you're going to see for week 1. So you would take your exam on May 26th. That's when it opens. That's when it's due. So what you'll see in the syllabus is that the exam is open on May 25th and 26th. So when you see that date right there, that's the date that it closes. Okay? But the syllabus tells you when it opens. And it'll close at 11:59 on that date. And again, you'll be able to see your answers the following day between 12 and 8. I'm going to click on this. So every week is like this. Like here's week 3, chapter 8. We've got some film clips in there, that sort of thing. Okay? Best thing to do is work your way around this so you're familiar with the data. Now here's some other just tips for you. All exams and tests are called quizzes in Canvas. So if I click on quizzes, you can also access all your exams, okay? So you can access them on the home page. Look at week 1. Or you can go to quizzes and access the test, okay? Here's your grade. This is where you'll find out what your grades are. And your name will go right across. Now you won't see everybody else's like I see, but you will be able to see your grades. And then the grades are weighted. So like tests are 80%, professional interviews 15%, assignment, the critical thinking assignment is 5%, and then this will give you your total weighted average. And if there's at this location also I have an opportunity to provide some feedback for you. Okay? I'm going to get out of this. Go back here to the course. Okay. So another thing is for assignments, your test also appear there along with your professional interview and your practical exercise number 2. So there's a couple of locations to access the items that you need. I've tried to make this as simple as possible in setting this up. back to the home page. I'm going to wrap this up now. If you have any questions, email me. Make sure that you stay up on the work each week. Do not get behind if you do. That will be a problem for you. I look forward to reviewing your work and answering any questions. And I think you'll find this course is very interesting. And I've tried to add enough video clips to, and like I said, the textbook is very informative. It's not difficult to read, and it's selected for that. And you get a lot of repetition, which is good for learning. Email me if you have questions. I do not have office hours during the summer, but I have my email is on page 1 of the syllabus. I do respond. I check my emails. I mean, you got to give me a break here. If you send me an email, don't expect an answer in 30 minutes, okay? Because I might be out traveling somewhere, but I will check it at least once or twice a day and get back to you. And this will be the end of this recording.